Hello and welcome to part 3 of Crested Butte Valley. And today when I started off, I needed to do some value changes. So when you come in, you get a fresh look, you go, that doesn't look right. And I got a critique from the professional group yesterday of my friends, and I needed to do some changes. So what I did was to lighten this mountain back here and needed to soften a line right here of a, because I was using my knife yesterday, it was too sharp, so I softened that line. After that, I started working on detail, working on that barn and really detailing that, darkening up the side over here to make these look closer, and fence line, shrubbery in front, all those little things. Mostly using number 2 and smaller brushes. All right, so that brought us to an end, and I think it really turned out well. And the feedback I got from my group yesterday, they really loved it. So I think it's going to be a winner. All right, thanks so much for coming by all the way here into part 3. And I hope you enjoy painting this as much as I did. All right, good luck painting. All right, let's get into part 3. All right, bye-bye. Oh boy, here we are, part 3. We'll hopefully bring this thing together and finish this painting, Crested Butte Valley, to an end. Okay, today's detail time. But again, when you come in and you get a fresh look at your painting, you'll say, oh, something needs to be moved or you need better balance. What I discovered when I came in and was told when I got a critique yesterday by my professional group was that over here on the mid area and the right, that my darks need to be darker. They need to come closer, and maybe even, and I'm thinking that maybe this needs to go back. These mountains here need to be lighter, and for them to go back. I need a little bit more personality inside these mountains with some blues, possibly. And then, of course, I need to get my fence and my barn and my outbuilding here all worked out appropriately. All right, what else do I need to do? I think this is too blunt, these grays coming in, and then I have these streaky things coming in here from the right. So I need to balance behind the barn. My barn is a little differently shaped, so I want to do some reshaping on my barn to make it appropriately correct. And yeah, maybe off camera, I don't know if I did this on camera, I put a dark edge with my knife here and here on the top edge. And some of that's a little too dark, so I have to kind of balance that out. Well, that's what I need to do today. We got a lot to do. So let's get busy. Let's start with balancing some of my darks. So let's go blue, brown, transparent oxide brown. With a little bit of, looks like this was some leftover from yesterday. It's just kind of like my foreground color. This might be too dark, but let's see what happens. Let's just lighten it off to one side here. So something might be correct in here. Okay, so I have 2 shades of the same area here, and I'm going to start with a number 2 long flat rosemary. And let's get some darks in here. Well, I need a stronger mixture, so I want more blue. Come on. Good. Just a little bit of alizarin in there too. Just a little bit. think I need more darks in here. Let me get back and see if I've got the right balance on that. Oh, that's definitely making a difference. But I need to bring this up, I think. A little bit of a drawing error. I think this actually, the darks actually end up in here somewhere. More blue, more transparent oxide red, more blue, a little bit of alizarin, and let's get this right in here. Oh, I like this color, this last one I just made. It's very nice. I want to go in and kind of balance this off here. Remember I said this is too blunt, these lines are coming in, then you have these darks coming in on this side. So I want to try to bring some of this balance here. And maybe bring it in a few other places too. So I'm still working on my balance phase. You don't always catch all these nice nuances. And let's knock down some background stuff here. Let's knock this down here. That's not so strong there. Got too strong of a line right here too, so I want to break that up. So let's see, we've got some lights here, so we'll just change some of this line here a little bit and then get some of these lines broken up. It was so strong. Well, basically because I used my knife on this thing to lay it down. And I'm just using some up and down strokes to soften that line. I'm going to make that a little darker right in here. I just added some more ultra, or may have been royal, or mixture from yesterday. And let's go now and strengthen the white in here. I'm going to have to remember to rotate my brush to get all the paint off the various sections here. And I think I need some white to come in here and accent the roof there. I think we have on top of the barn there's this cupola or something. What do you call the top of the barn when it has that? It's not a chimney, it's some device they use for hauling up hay or something. And that'll have to be put in there. All right, what other structural changes do we need? I think we need just a little bit of blue in a few places, like right in here. very faint. And others in just a few places. Let me do a little one right in here. And then I want to get some pure white and reinforce some of it. So yesterday I was painting with some of my friends, and one of the ladies went to Western State in Gunnison and knew this barn immediately. There's lots of fond memories. And she goes, no, it's no longer around. It has been knocked down. Because remember in part one I said I didn't see it last year when I visited. Now I'd like to get some warms going. So here's some orange and some transparent oxide red. And introducing some of that mixture in the foreground. And it kind of helps to describe the barn also. I also need some darks, more darks. All these little bushes. This is the detail stuff I'm getting into now. And the reason these bushes are so important, they show the slope of the hill. Just really kind of dabbing it in some spots, really making them very small. But over here, I'm coming back and making them pretty well defined, bigger. And there's a bit of a stroke, or a bit of a hill right here. Describes the hill going this way. So again, I'm adding these darks in here. And I'm pretty stingy on the other side. There's a lot around a lot of bushes around the fence line. So if you want more bushes, get them in there, because I'll probably get some off camera. But I need to spend some more quality time with you guys doing some detailed stuff around the barn. Let me get a little bit more defined and show you what I want to do up here with these fence line here. And here. But there are a lot of bushes around the bases of these fence post bases. Okay, enough of that. Let's get to a good dark. Get some viridian, get some blue, get some brown. And what we have here is a big dark here. And then it goes even wider here. And then there's a smaller one right here. And then looks like there's a kind of another open area here. And then off to the side here is a some sort of a dark shed or something here. And I think this has to even go in farther. And then there's also a lot of dark in this fella here. I want to. There's a corral fence, I think, that needs to be better defined in here. Some light is coming through, and there's some with darks in it. And then I think in here we have some sort of a light. Alrighty, let's make sure I don't overdo this thing, but we do have to describe this thing in a pretty good way. And what I'm going to do is add some red and brown together with a little bit of Hansa yellow, because I do see some just some variation in here. And I also see some real good darks in here. And I will put that in also. I see more darks here on the bottom than the top. And I'll put some up on the top too. And a few light streaks here and there. So I'll get some Hansa yellow and do some lighter streaks. And some yellow streaks over here. There's also that dark cupola up on top. So let's get some red, some brown, and let's get this cupola here. I may have accented these lights too much, so I'll run a few streaks through it. And I think I have to reestablish one of my roof lines here. And I'll do that with a knife. So I'll go to a dark here, pick it up, a little bit of a dark, and run that dark right here. Okay, that showed up. And let's get this barn shortened a little bit, so I need to go back with some blues and bring in my background. Not too much in the camera. And I need to shorten the other side too, so let me get some sort of a mixture here of some blue and white. And we have to kind of lighten this up a little bit. And we have to get a light right in there. Maybe too much light right there, but let's knock that down with some dark. I may have made it too long, so I'll shorten it now with a stroke or two. Hope I don't accent that barn too much. I may have done that on the right side, so I'll get some blues and calm it down a little bit over here. Notice that when I got back. All right. And I need more bushes over in this area. How am I doing on time? Good. Still think I'm doing good. And I'll blue down this side. I accented this side too much. We also have some telephone poles and such, so let me see what I can do here with telephone poles. Looks like there's one here. Just do some knife work. And there's another one over here, which is here, and another one over here. And while I've got the knife, I'm going to get some dark edges on some of the posts, not all of them. And that can help over there. And I want to kind of clean this up just and give a sharper edge under that fence. Whew, man, this is intense. I need to soften just a little bit underneath the barn. Right here, this dark line is too strong. All right, let's go into this mountain here a little bit and see what we can do. I am still using this number 2, I think. And just going to use some light blue. Still got some warm inside this brush. I got to really clean it up here a little bit. And get rid of some of these brights here. And make some light color here, light blue. This is a royal blue and a lot of white. And I'm going to try out some of this royal blue to knock down some of these areas here that might be a little too strong in value. Just knocking them down. I think I need some white through here too, right in here. And a few strong whites in here. And back to my royal. And knock some of these down. It seems to be darker up on top. So I'll use that we used, I think yesterday, Ultra. And that's okay. That seems to be okay right up in there. It makes sense up in there. Then there's a big strong streak of it over in this area here. Now, if you want to get more frosty, you can get some of your light blues and frost up some of these trees up back in here. I think I need to go a little darker. I'm adding some ultra touch of gray, and kind of just frosting up the trees a little bit. I think these are the Cottonwoods. I think back here's the Taylor River, or whatever river goes into Gunny. I know the Taylor River is above it, and it's one of the tributaries that goes into it. And now I'm bringing some darks up from the bottom on the Cottonwoods. And shedding the wealth around a little bit with some of the browns. Too much. Let me kill some of that with some ultra blue mixture. There we go, just kind of showing that we can bring some warmth in this painting. Now, what I'd like to do is show these individual pine tree stuff over here on the right. So I'm going to need a little bit more delicate brush. And I've got a long comber here. It's very long, it's delicate, and so you get some blue on this thing with some of this other colors we have everywhere. And I think first I need to get some white up in there. So I'm going to get some of this lighter color mixed with some blue. I'm going to work in this area right here and show that there are, I'm going to move the monitor out of the way and bring some of these delicate streaks up into this area here. I'm going to add more blue to that. It's a little too light. There we go. That has the effect I want. Just a little bit of royal in the mixture. Some of these go way up here. There's a pretty bright stroke right in here. I'm going to just try to bring that back right in here. And calm down some of this chaos around the barn. Okay, now what I want to do with the darker blues, and I won't be able to finish all this before our time runs out in just a couple minutes, but what I'm going to be doing is putting these horizontal strokes that kind of looks like trees breaking up this area here. Darker. Too much goop on my brush. And that's what I'm going to be doing also to finish this painting. But my time's run out, and so you kind of get the idea where I'm going to finish this thing with these little details. Thank you so much for coming by. And I got a lot of positive comment from my group yesterday on this painting. They all want to paint it. So, thank you so much for being part of part 1, 2, and 3, and I hope you really like how your painting turns out. All right, bye-bye.